All right, art students, today we're going to be drawing a pterodactyl. We're going to be doing this drawing step by step. So really all you have to do at home is just follow along. I'm working on a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. We're going to start by drawing a very narrow triangle in the center. This triangle is going to form the basis of the pterodactyl's body. The next thing I'm going to draw is a long sideways V. This is going to be the space between the pterodactyl's bill. Next, we're going to close up the bill. On the top, I'm going to use a curved line down to the top of the point. On the bottom, I'm going to use a straight line. Alright, next on this pterodactyl, forgive me, I'm looking for a darker pencil so it'll show better for you at home. We're going to add the pterodactyl's back leg as a small thin triangle, as well as the pterodactyl's chest muscle as a rounded circle. Here's what I was looking for. All right, next thing I'm going to add is I'm going to smooth this out with a gentle curve so that the leg flows into the chest. And we're going to begin to add the wings. So again, I'm going to use a V shape. This side is going to be a little bit unbalanced. The left side of the V will be a little bit taller than the right hand side. And then I'm going to draw a long, straight, angled line back towards the edge of my paper to form the top of the wing. Now, most pterodactyls and most pteranodons, that's the family of this type of flying dinosaur, had a crest on top of their head. And so we're going to draw that in now. The crest on this particular pterodactyl is going to look like a shark's fin. Now, don't mind this line passing through it right now. We're going to do some shading at the end that's going to clean that up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add two curved lines. These are going to represent the inside of this wing as well as the inside of the back wing. It's very important at this point right here that both the wings appear to meet at that one singular point. All right, the next step some people find a little tricky. We're going to project a straight line from this point to this point, going behind this wing that's closest to us. So again, I'm going to start off, draw straight through, keep it nice and parallel. You may have to make an adjustment here and extend this just a little bit, or you may even have to erase a little bit off of it. All right, so pterodactyls, much like modern day bats, have leathery, membraned wings, and their arm bones are actually contained within. So we're going to put the arms here, and we're going to indicate those by these two thin triangles. So this would be the shoulder, the bicep, and up to the elbow joint. Please forgive me as I drink my hot tea. I know that's probably a little bit loud on the microphone. All right, next we're going to connect the tip of the wing to each arm tip. So this would be like the forearm. So these bones are very, very thin, like in most flying birds and mammals. And then the top of the wings are going to get this rounded canopy. All right, our next step is going to be to add the fingers and the toes. So because their arms extend through their wings, we're going to just use simple curved lines to indicate their clawed fingers. And then equally simple curved lines for their clawed toes off both the legs. Alright, we're starting to hone in on some details now. I'm going to switch back to my sharper pencil. If you've never seen a dinosaur bone in a museum, it's very similar to a bird skull in that their eye socket in their skull is really large. Most birds, because their eyes are on opposite sides of their skull, they need really large eyes to see where they're going. Alright, then we've just got some minor details. We're going to put a piece of webbing between the feet. And we're going to put a piece of webbing between the wings and the body. And then we're going to do just some light shading to kind of bring it all together. So the first thing I want to do is I want to darken these arms. Now I don't want them to be pitch black, but I do want them to be dark gray. And you can just achieve this with a number 2 pencil. You may have to press down kind of hard, but you'll get the effect. The next thing, this crest on top of his head is going to be absolutely black. And we're going to color this pterodactyl very similar to a modern day toucan. So if you're not familiar with what a toucan is, that would also be the character that's depicted on the box of Fruit Loops. So we want that to be black. Then we're going to go in and we're going to make the webbing very light gray. And we're going to make his body a much darker gray, but not quite the black of the crest. Something very similar to what we used on the arms. And notice we don't even need to erase that line in the chest. It's all just going to become one. Just like that. Alright, the lower beak we're going to make very dark up against his body. And then as I move away towards the tip of the beak, I'm going to use less and less pressure and have it get lighter and lighter. Then we're going to get a little fancy out here on this beak. We're going to start at the eye, and I'm going to add a wavy line. And this is kind of where the toucan reference comes in. Now around the outside of the eye, I want to make it very dark. If you've never seen a toucan's head, toucans have a black head, really dark. But then in contrast to that, their bill is very, very brightly colored, yellows and oranges. And again, out to the tip. All right. And then just to finish this up so that we know what we're drawing, this is actually a pteranodon. So that would be P-T-E-R-A-N-O-D-O-N. All right, and then just go ahead and date it. Today is the 8th. Just like that. Please submit your work on Canvas. You can rewatch, stop, play back the video, whatever you need to do to get it done. Hope you enjoyed this drawing of a pterosaur.